Today, we took my mom to the emergency room. It's like an off-site emergency room. It's where I went for my leg abscess, and my husband went when he had pneumonia. It's just an ER. It has no hospital attached. They would, take you to an ambulance if they had to take you in an ambulance if they had to admit you. But I'm tired. My husband took the day off so that this could happen. To start from a beginning. So in January, my mom started generic version of Lipitor, low dose. She has genetic high cholesterol. She's whatever generation with high cholesterol. She eats no high cholesterol foods, neither did her father. It's just what it is. And her doctor said, also take CoQ10 in case you get body aches. And within a month, she started to get body aches. And she still continued to take the supplement. And the doctor was just, that's just going to happen. And fast forward, then in May, she stopped her multiple sclerosis medication. The neurologist said you haven't had any relapses due to age also, and then because this lowers your immune system, he said the odds are better to be off of it than on it. And then in June, she got a UTI. And then in August this month, she got another UTI. They did a urinalysis, and she has crystals in her urine. And all her primary said was drink more. No follow-up necessarily, no retest. We're going to be trying to get a different primary care doctor for her. We do not like this one. Anyway. And then when she had a telehealth on Monday, because over this past weekend, her body aches just severely increased. They had been steadily increasing over time, but this weekend she was very, very vocal about it. And on Saturday, her right arm, shoulder area began hurting. As she called it, it was like an 8 out of 10 on the pain scale. And we called the pharmacist about it, given the Lipitor side effect, and the pharmacist said stop it. Coupled with her MS, with the body aches, she should not be on this, and contact your primary immediately. And we did a telehealth on Monday, and that's when we found out about the urinalysis results. And the nurse practitioner who did the telehealth said, we didn't really think twice about giving the Lipitor with your MS because it was a low dose, but there's a possibility when you have a autoimmune / neuromuscular issue, it could affect you. The statins or the statin, however you say it. But it said, hey, with the pain, it'll go away. And, but every day since that Saturday, the arm pain, while staying steady at an 8 out of 10, she was getting more and more vocal, crying out in pain. And now to the point, like, she can't lift her arm. And on Tuesday, the pain started going to her left side. She calls it more of a discomfort than a pain. And then on Wednesday, she had her quarterly telehealth visit with her neurologist, who said, hey, this could be a virus in your arm from the UTIs, so you might want to look into that. He can't do anything about it. He doesn't treat it, but it was just like an FYI. And she's had shingles in the past. She has arthritis. Like, we had, as I like to say, we have Venn diagrams, and there's so much overlapping, and it's so hard to know what is what. Especially when doctors just all come in with their own thoughts and they don't overlap. So my mom relies heavily on her upper body strength and ability to help her move, get up, get out of bed, move in bed. So for her to have pain is not good. And that pain and exhaustion from the pain leads to weakness and fatigue, which is not good coupled with MS. And for her to cry out in pain and want like ibuprofen and things like that, you know it's bad, because she won't talk about stuff. So I know when we've hit that level, this is something. So made the decision yesterday, because also the next earliest telehealth or in-person visit for my mom's primary wouldn't be until September 9th. And we took the appointment, but that's a long time to go with this pain and not knowing what's causing the pain. Again, another reason why we want a new doctor. I could go into a different conversation about that. But, so yesterday made the decision that my husband would take the day off and we would go to the ER with her, because we would need referrals for orthopedics or x-rays or MRIs, and the doctor wasn't going to see her till September. She can't go on like this till September. So went to that off-site ER today. He took the day off, let her rest in the morning, gave her a good breakfast, because we just didn't know what the afternoon would hold. And they gave her like a pain relief muscle relax shot in that arm. This arm just didn't, qualify yet for that type of help. And a lidocaine patch. And they did an x-ray because her insurance would not immediately cover an MRI, which is what the doctor wanted to do at the ER, unless he did an x-ray first. And he's like, I know this x-ray is not going to show anything, because I need to see muscles. I don't need to see your bones. X-rays came back just showing that there's arthritis setting in, but that has nothing to do with the pain. And an MRI would not get covered. She has to get an MRI as a follow-up from her primary care doctor to get it covered. Gotta love the American healthcare system and insurance. So I'm sure if it would get covered if she were to be admitted, and we really wanted to avoid admittance unless absolutely necessary, because admitting her to the hospital could do more harm than good. Obviously, if they thought there was an injury or an ailment that required it, absolutely. But just to admit for an MRI or just in order to get tests done, like, it's just, even 2 days in a hospital, she could easily get pneumonia, UTIs, the weakness that could set in from her just lying in the bed without movement. More harm than good. I digress. So sent her home with prescription strength ibuprofen and a muscle relaxer, all as needed, but to, do it for the first 2 days home. He also prescribed a lidocaine patch. Insurance denied it because he prescribed it at like the over-the-counter dosage. And that's okay, because we have lidocaine cream here anyway. I just got back from picking up the prescriptions. My husband came home. I said, you eat lunch. I ate lunch. I'll go out for the drugs. So, yeah. And then he said, keep your September 9th appointment with your doctor, because even if this does clear up, still try to get the MRI just to make sure there's no damage. And then if it's not cleared up, get the MRI to see what's going on. So yeah, and then so she's resting. And I put I haven't done any daily exercises with her in like a week and a half, because I don't want to aggravate anything and tire her out more. But last night was rough for, it's been so hard, to hear her crying out in pain when she's moving, because it's only when she moves. It's kind of like when you, I equate it to when I throw my back out and I move just in that way that makes you, gasp. She does that, but she yelps out. And that's been hard to hear, because it's all the time when she shifts, when she lifts herself up, and it doesn't matter how much she is helped, it still hurts, because when you're moving the walker, as you're walking, your shoulder is moving. so she's hurting. So, and we could use a wheelchair in the house, but it's still getting in the wheelchair to get in and out of it is going to hurt, and we got to keep her legs moving. But last night, like, I don't even remember going to bed. Like, I don't remember going to bed. I was just so drained and overwhelmed and anxious and nervous and scared because I have medical anxiety for myself, and it's even worse secondhand for others. I go down dark paths. I also equate doctors and hospitals negatively because of everything my folks have been through. So to make that decision to go to the ER meant really there is something wrong. And then around 5, I awoke in a panic attack. And I try not to wake my husband with my panic attacks. I just go and deal with them on my own. But last night I could not, and I woke him. And I felt bad waking him. And then, you know, I didn't really fall asleep. He was up and down with me. And then, of course, I'm checking on my mom when I hear her getting up to go to the bathroom. And then I just told him to fully go back to sleep around 6:30. And I think I drifted for maybe a half hour. But panic attack tired is different than just tired. And now, like, once my husband texted what was going on, and it was like nothing like terrible as my brain was going, I was finally able to eat. And now that I've come home, I really want to lay down. Like, even if it's just for 10 minutes. My husband is going to do dinner. But I'm wiped. It's a different type of tired for me after. And my mom is laying down. Going out to the ER was its own exhaustion. So that's what's going on. You know, I typed up a list so that my husband could give it to the nurse and the doctor of just her history and what's going on. And it's hit or miss of doctors and nurses like that. Some are so grateful and some are very put off by it. Luckily, they were not put off by it. And it was actually the ER doctor who treated my leg abscess. So, yeah. That's what's going on. You know, I have two brains, the caregiver brain and the daughter brain, and sometimes they fight each other. And this was one of those instances where they were fighting each other. Okay, that's what's going on. All right, thanks for listening to me ramble. I hope y'all are doing okay. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.